and welcome back to a brand new episode of In the Pitbox on the Spot with me, Kunal Shere. And joining me in the Pitbox today is unbiased fan and voice of reason, Shashank Shere. Welcome. And we also have
Guys.
a returning special guest, True Blood Tifosi and Bandra boy Arjun Hari is also with us today. So welcome to the show, Arjun. Let me start. Yeah, glad to have you back. You've basically
Back.
said
Yeah, back by popular demand,
yeah,
Arjun.
absolutely popular demand. Got a lot of DMs on our Instagram saying what a great guy, what a fantastic understanding of the sport. So on popular demand we
Not,
said we have to bring Hari
not.
back. So welcome back to the show. So I'll just quickly start with you, Hari. So obviously we are now 34 days to I think testing, right? No, actually 34 days to the new ground, up to the
Yeah.
first race. So
Almost
things
20
are
days
heating
for,
up.
20 days for
Yeah,
testing. Yeah.
correct. So things are heating up. We've got three pieces of news that have come in last week. So we'll start off with the latter, um which is Lando's new contract and Charles's new contract. So, any initial thoughts on both these contracts? What do you think? Let's start with Charles because that's the more closer to home thing for both of us. Any thoughts?
I think it's great. It's a great move. But they've not given a right time. It's just a
I think
multi-year.
that's deliberate. So both their contracts are like that, multi-year contract because I think
Multi-year.
both of them want a way out, and similarly, I think McLaren and Ferrari want a way out because it cannot be like a situation where neither of them are never in a position to win a championship. So I think that's the reason. But
I think
Lando,
it's
what
a
do you think
Also,
of?
that's what's revealed to the public. I don't know. Maybe they have something in mind which they haven't revealed, or they have something in the contract which only Charles and the team will know, or
yeah, correct,
Lando
correct.
and McLaren
Correct.
might know.
Yeah, that would make sense to not make everything public.
It's a good move for both the teams. I think both the drivers are very, very good.
Yeah.
I mean, if Ferrari gives Leclerc a good car, I
Mm.
think this year, I mean, there are some 94% of the components which are going to be upgraded and changed.
Mm.
Uh, if they give him a good car this year, I think there is potential to come in the top two or top three. I don't know. I mean, it's too early to say because
Yeah.
we also start very well and then fizzle out later
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Yeah. I
It's a
think
good,
race wins is what we have to target, maybe 5 out
yeah,
of 20. Even
yeah,
if we go till there, I think that's enough to see that it's going somewhere. I mean, you have to at least start moving in the right direction. And like you rightly said, again, the start is all fine, but
yeah.
to then fizzle out is a bigger problem for me because that's been the case not only in 2022 when we had a great car to begin with, but generally, whenever we've come close, we've never really in the second half of the season, come back stronger, from that break and say, okay, now we're going to build momentum and get to a win. So I think that's
No,
also a fair point, and I think that's maybe where Fred Vasseur and his new team. So a lot of new guys on the pit wall as well. So obviously
from
this
Red
guy's
Bull and
got
Toro Rosso also. Now, which is
correct,
Visa,
correct.
something. Yeah.
Shishi, that though you leave. That we'll also quickly touch upon that also before we move forward. But I'll just come to Shashu now on Lando Norris's contract. So as an unbiased fan, I think let's get his point of view on Lando's contract and what's looking into the crystal ball. What does he have? What does he think is going to happen with Lando in the future?
Yeah, first of all, I think kudos to Arjun for knowing that that 94% of the components on the Ferrari are going to change. So, wow, like he's truly, I would say, a Ferrari guy and also a data guy. Yeah? So, kudos to Arjun on that figure,
He did a
94%.
job. I think he did a job in he did a job. Literally, that went
and
smooth.
and also to touch on not only Lando but also Charles' contract. I think it's just a win-win for both Charles and Ferrari and Lando and McLaren at this point. At this point,
Absolutely.
and like you said, it's a multiple year deal. I think it's great that they haven't said it's a 5 year, 6 year, 7 year deal, and it's great that it's not a 1 year deal or a 2 year deal, because
That's
I
ridiculous.
feel
Yeah,
like you have to go at least till 2026 when
that's when the rules change. Also,
yeah, when
yeah.
that's when the rules change, and that's when I guess the field might, or at least I'm hoping for the field evening out a little. And you can't let I think the last 3-4 years of the camaraderie that you've built between the team and the driver just go with Lando as well as Charles. So I think it's a win-win for both of them, that they are
True.
sticking to where they've been for the last 3-4 years. And yeah, I think I don't know. I think first of all, I think Lando should get his first win in 2024. I'm just hoping that Lando gets his first win, because I think he's too talented a guy, and I don't know. He has a lot. He has too much potential to not still have a win under his belt.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you said, yeah, we can't expect for miracles to happen in 2024. But like you said, 5 wins is a good start for
Yeah.
a team like
Both the
Ferrari.
teams, both the teams,
And
even
and that's
McLaren, both the
exactly what I was also going to come at, that 5 wins for Ferrari, and why not even 3-4 wins for a team like McLaren?
No, fair point, fair point. So I think 5 wins for Ferrari plus 5 wins for McLaren or 3 wins for McLaren also opens up the championship in general, because you
yeah,
have multiple teams winning. So it's a win-win for everyone, that multiple teams. So let's say,
Correct.
okay, 4 for Ferrari, 4 for McLaren, and 4 for even Mercedes. That means then Red Bull again, even if Max wins most of the other races, at least for the constructors it's going to get quite tricky and close. So at least from that aspect, I think it would be a, yeah, even I would love to have multiple guys winning, and McLaren as well as Ferrari winning,
Yeah.
not so much
And it's and
Mercedes,
it's
because
yeah, it's funny how we haven't even mentioned the Mercs, because the Mercs who
yeah, that's what I
dominated
said.
the
Mercs
last
also
seven
will
seven eight.
for
Yeah, no, even I
yeah.
completely forgot about the Mercs till right now. I'm just talking about Ferrari and McLaren because I think they finished much stronger than the Mercs. But
yeah.
I don't know. I conveniently chose to forget that Mercs have probably dominated the last 8-9 years. But
The
yes, I
hybrid
think
I,
engine.
3-4 for each, I think would be great. And also,
yeah,
like you
that'll
said,
be good.
Ferrari fizzled out in the last 1-2 years, but that was also because of what happened, and a few of their uh, the parts and whatever, that flexi wing and all that they got was deemed
Illegal.
not legal. So yeah, so that
Yeah,
was, I
yeah,
think, a
so
major reason for them fizzling out in the last 1 or 2 years.
yeah, that technical
But I think
directive, basically the
yeah,
way
that
the
was a very technical thing that might not be the case every year.
no, that technical directive, basically the way the car's overall design was made was, all these cars are extremely stiff, and
Yeah.
obviously because of the
Correct.
Venturi tunnels and this, basically you have to keep it to as close to the ground as possible. So basically they'd come up with their wing and also their underside, which was also flexing. Because it was flexing, it was giving, allowing them to manage ride heights, plus in corner it was going down, going up, so it was managing the downforce properly. So anyways, that though is like a broken record.
Correct.
I've complained
So
about
yeah,
it many times. So
basically you want your car to be, I
yeah,
think,
I mean, that's
lower in the corners, and then
yeah,
probably
and
a little
yeah,
higher
slightly,
higher on down the
yeah,
straight.
so
So
it doesn't
that's what
pop,
was
yeah,
happening.
because the porpoising was
Exactly.
a
Yeah, the
problem. Yeah,
porpoising happened exactly because of that. That it was riding so
yeah,
low on the straights
it's so low. Correct, correct, correct,
that
correct.
it was porpoising, or
Yeah.
in maybe simpler terms, it was just bouncing.
So yeah, I mean, completely agree, and I think those were the two big sets of news. But again, before we go to our main course, we need to talk also about one more appetizer which has come in, which is that really bullshit name which have given to that new team. I mean, I don't know how would you like, how do you call that team? Visa Cash App RB, correct? That's the
Yeah.
way. I mean, even someone who's as optimistic and happy as like Daniel Ricciardo would have, fallen flat on the floor saying, "What the fuck is this nonsense?" And Red Bull is supposed to be a marketing genius and whatnot. I mean, Hari, from your experience of being in the advertising world, and many a time you would have discussed this with your creative teams about coming up with names. You would have rejected this, right?
Absolutely.
This,
Absolutely.
this
It's
is
like a tongue
this is so
twister, though.
purely a money thing. Yeah, it's so evident.
Yeah, it's like a tongue twister also.
It is just wrong from every sense. This just is just wrong. And I mean, the thing is, for it to also be a money thing, because you want to show your sponsor right up front, yet if the people who are seeing it are not able to recollect what the name is, that in itself, the whole purpose of the brand is lost. That you're not able, the person who's seeing it, not able to recollect what the hell that is, like, or do I have to call it RB? And even like on the F1 coverage, okay, the Ferraris are here, or can you see the Red Bull, see
Yeah.
the McLaren, you can see the Mercedes. Here you can't say RB, you'll say Visa Cash App. Visa
Why
Cash App, people
why
be like,
would
what,
why
I
would
owe
they
you
just
money, what?
yeah
Yeah, I think we'll come
why
up
would
with a
they
thought
just not
process.
call it Visa? I don't know. Just the Visa
Visa
Red
Cash.
Bull team.
Money, money,
Visa
money,
Red
money,
Bull
money,
team.
money.
Not Visa car, but just a Visa Red Bull Racing, which is easier. Why do you have to put the name app? App is just ridiculous. Like, yeah, imagine saying Visa app
They want to
on
get
pole.
Gen Z
Like,
involved,
yeah,
man.
like
They do
what?
everything on app,
What is Visa app on pole? That's like Apple
BTS.
announcing what? Yeah,
BTS crowd.
basically, yeah, maybe it's for DTS, and I'm so not excited for the new season of DTS.
Oh
By
yeah,
the
I
way,
was just going to talk about it, bro.
Hari,
I have,
yeah,
I
why
have,
don't you? Why
I
don't
have,
you give us
I
some
have,
thoughts?
It is general knowledge for people who have missed the last season or have not followed the last season. Is general knowledge, especially for these Drive to Survive fans, and they'll talk about it as if they follow the season properly after watching the show. It is general.
Synopsis, bro. Synopsis.
I'm
Anyways,
not
cool. So
looking
we'll.
for it.
No,
Maybe I'll
I'll
watch
watch it. I
it this
enjoy
week
it.
in
Yeah,
1 week.
I enjoy it. I agree with you that it's for generally the kind of audience that's brought in is generally
Yeah.
one little stupid audience only, but it's necessary, and I enjoy it. I don't love it or
but
something,
even I,
but
I
I
will
would see
watch
it.
it.
I'll definitely watch
It's
it.
a guilty pleasure, man. I'll watch Coffee with
I will
Karan
watch
just
it.
as a guilty pleasure.
I will watch it.
I
I
know
will
it's
watch it.
shit, but I'm going to watch it.
It's shit, absolutely shit. But I am going to watch it. I'm going to watch it.
Cool. Let's quickly move on to the main course for this show, which is hot on the heels of the announcement of that Madrid Grand Prix in 2026. So let's just firstly, talk about street circuits in general. So what's good, what's not so good. So before we get into that, also let's look at a brief history of street circuits. So the first street circuit obviously is Monaco. That was part of the F1 championship in 1950. That's the first championship, and it's featured on the calendar since 55, barring 2020. In the recent past, you've had 96 to 2007, where we've had two street circuits, which is again Monaco and Australia. 2008, we saw Singapore coming in along with a circuit called Valencia. If you remember,
Yes,
there was an
yes.
absolute shit circuit, and that was taken off the
Yeah.
calendar in 2012. Then we had Baku that was added in 2016, Saudi in 2021, Miami in 22, and Vegas in 23.
Yeah.
And 2024 will see 6 street races, which is Monaco, Australia, Baku, Saudi, Miami, and Vegas. Now,
Vietnam
firstly,
is also in the cards, but I don't know what has happened.
which one?
Vietnam, like, they built the circuit. In
Vietnam,
Vietnam.
it's gone. It was full. It was supposed to be there in 2020, I think. 2020 is when,
Yeah,
and there was a lot of
2020 is when it
corruption.
was supposed to be there, but it
Yeah,
is
it was
gone.
supposed to
But
happen.
also, is Australia like a full street circuit?
Australia
It
is
is
considered a street
a
circuit
street circuit, yeah.
because it's on the main roads in Melbourne. So
It is on the main
it's
road, but I don't know if it's
yeah.
entirely street
No,
circuit.
there's
I'm
some
not really
purpose
sure.
built
I think
parts,
that
but
there
it's
are
yeah.
parts of it there are that are street and parts of it I think that are
Mm,
Yeah.
purpose built.
mm.
I think so.
So let's firstly start with Madrid. Uh, so because it's fresh for Hari and
Yeah.
myself because we went to
In
Barcelona and
fact,
Barcelona has got a lot of flack. So I was looking at some of the other podcasts and including the F1 podcast, the official F1 podcast with Damon Hill, and I mean they're right in saying that even at his time, which is the 80s and the 90s, uh, Catalonia as such was not considered a great track to race on because it's super narrow, and with those cars also it was still super narrow. And the fact that everyone used to test in Barcelona
Barcelona, yeah.
meant that any kind of, because everyone had their setups already done, so if you had discrepancies in performance between cars, those used to just get magnified over there because no one's going to make, I mean, you pretty much go there and you know what your car's going to do, so no one's going to try something different also because you kind of know the pecking order. And what again, something that they mentioned, which Hari, I'll come to you specifically on that, was the 2022 race, not the 23 race which we went to. The 2022 race got a lot of flack for the way people were struggling to get to the track from the city. So that also was something that went against it, and they obviously made that change in the last corner when again we went in 2023. So just coming to you, Hari, given that that's fresh in our minds as race fans, so a, what do you think of the circuit, your experience, and specifically from a fan's perspective, because that's going to be a very important part of this conversation. So, what are your thoughts on Barcelona? And just for our viewers, just give us your experience of getting to Barcelona, to the Circuit de Catalunya from Barcelona.
Look, firstly, talking about the Madrid news,
Hmm.
for me, it's another street circuit, yeah. And in
Hmm.
fact, you and me were there when we had gone for the F1
IFEMA, yeah,
championship.
yeah, yeah.
So it's going to happen around there only.
Around that, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so around that area, it's going to happen. And there was also news that this it might be called the official Spanish GP, and they might not, uh, race
Renew
in Barcelona.
Barcelona, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I honestly speaking, I really don't know. For me, Catalonia is the iconic circuit.
Hmm.
Is like where legends have won and raced, and it's a great circuit also. So it's hard to comprehend that you're going to have a track in Madrid. Also
Hmm.
for fan base, it will be good because Madrid on record is also a great place to be, live, and a huge set of F1 fans.
Hmm.
Carlos Sainz and is from Madrid, so that it probably will
Hmm.
add more value to the table.
Hmm.
But Barcelona is Barcelona for me. I mean,
Hmm.
that is an iconic track. Getting to the track was not a big problem. I mean, we
Exactly,
pre-booked.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we had a very seamless experience of getting to the
Yeah,
track.
yeah. I mean,
Maybe
it
that
took
was
an
a
hour.
learning that took from 2022 and applied to 2023 because it was damn easy to
It
get to
was
the
very
track.
easy. I mean, getting into the track was
Mm,
also not. I mean, it was outside the city, but I think
yeah.
it was completely. I mean, I had no problems. And will I go to see a race in Barcelona? I've just seen one last year with
Mm,
you, so probably maybe in the next few years, if I'm there, maybe I'll again
yeah.
go. I mean, there's no issue per se. It was a seamless, smooth experience, and
Yeah.
I mean, we all had a good time at the race. Yeah, we
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
had.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So just moving that now to Shashu, because something that you mentioned and something which was again mentioned on multiple podcasts in general was one of the reasons that this Stefano said that it's that whole 2030 net carbon neutral. That's one. B is part of that whole net carbon neutral is that fans take, it's easy accessibility to the fans. They don't have to go, take cars, hire cars, and go far away, which brings us to another experience that Shashu and me had about going to Spa. Now, Spa is, in
Well,
my mind, Spa is also going to be on the chopping block in the next 2 3 years. If they're going to do this carbon neutral thing, A, B, there is a lot of flack Spa's receiving for safety,
Oh,
and getting in and out of, no, I'm saying, just I think that's also going to come on the chopping block in the next 2 3 years, is what I'm hearing and what I'm thinking. So I'll just put this question to Shashu. Firstly, his comments on Madrid. B, also from a fan's perspective, he's seen the other side of it being an absolutely torturous, experience of getting in and out of a track, which was Spa Francorchamps. So, maybe we can hear, a different side of things as to how he feels about Madrid, and, just basic thoughts on, you know, what the future is in store with the Madrid, and just generally with, you know, tracks that are within, city confines. So whether it's a street track, or like he was mentioning, Albert Park has streets, uh, actual Melbourne streets, as well as, some specially made, parts of the circuit. Yes, Sashi, what your thoughts, please?
Yeah, I think firstly on the Madrid track, I mean, I gave Vegas also a lot of flack when I saw the track. But then I think seeing the track on paper and then seeing the racing is a different thing. Also, I don't know what you define, or how you can define a track as being a good track or a bad track. Now it depends. There are so many factors that go into getting a good race. So maybe the Vegas track gave us a very good race, but I don't know how great a track it was. So I don't know. I would probably not pass any judgment on the Madrid track right now. Maybe look at it physically. Maybe watch a couple of races and then maybe see if it's good, great. It has to go. So I would still not pass my judgment on the Madrid track. Second, coming to Spa. Now, Spa is, I think, very similar to Catalonia. It's a little far away from the city. And like Kunnu mentioned, I think getting out of the track after the race was nothing short of a shit show. Like we were absolutely, we were stationary in a farm, in a field for I think for a good 4 hours after the race was done. We could literally have grown some vegetables there, had dinner there and then come. It was so bad. We are literally stationary there. And also
think of
talking about narrow tracks. Now even Spa is quite a narrow track.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, somehow maybe the layout of the track is such that it probably encourages overtaking. So that is why it probably did not come on the, I don't know, the chopping block before Catalonia did. So, like Kunnu mentioned, I think they are looking at Spa also, and I don't know, maybe we could see Spa go in the next 2 3 years. You never know. But
It's a
then also
dangerous
coming to,
track.
what, Monaco. You talk about
Yeah.
Monaco, being such a historic track. I think this is obviously my personal opinion. If you're going to be looking at all these tracks and looking at chopping them, then however iconic a track Monaco is, I would say the racing in Monaco has been absolutely dull in the last decade. I would say I don't remember the last time I can say that okay, this was a very great
Excited about
Monaco
this
Grand Prix.
Grand
Yeah,
Prix.
so like I think we were talking about it even a couple of days back. You probably, if you want to not let go of the past, not let go of the history, have have an exhibition race or have some kind of an event in Monaco. But then don't have a race there.
Time
You can
trial.
have yeah, you can have a, I
Time
don't know, you
trial.
can have a time travel, or you can have people coming in those old cars and maybe have Sebastian Vettel advertise his bee farm there. But I think that's about it, because the cars, see, you can't have the cars getting bigger. And I think, you know what? we are
Yeah, yeah,
focusing on safety. So the cars have gotten bigger for that, and I am all for safety. So I don't think the cars are going to get any smaller. And
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Monaco being
That's
the track that it is, you're not going to be able to make any modifications to the track or to the width of the track. So then, where are
yeah,
we
true,
going
mm,
with
true.
Monaco? I feel like the FIA has to look at Monaco before it starts looking at chopping tracks like Spa.
yeah. I
You know,
think
I was
Monaco,
just
like you
trying
said,
to
it's the
convince
yeah, 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 yeah.
trying to
What?
convince Kunal. I was trying to convince Kunal, let's go to Monaco this year and watch the race.
Yeah, you
Yeah, yeah.
better
Just
go because I
coming
don't know
to
if
a
he'll
very
still be there.
valid point with
Maybe Imola or Austria.
yeah, yeah. But just coming to Monaco, I think a very correct. I think Monaco is the crown jewel for
Yeah,
F1 in general because that is
yeah.
where the glitz and glamour and all of that associated with F1 started. Now, from a technical standpoint, again, with what Shashu was mentioning, is the cars have now become too big for Monaco. So
Correct.
even at its peak, Monaco didn't give you bangers in terms of cars really going side by side, but at least there was potential because there was enough space for two cars to go within the width of the track. Given that's completely gone now, I think Monaco there's really nothing that can be done to improve the racing at Monaco. So Monaco has to be treated as a separate special race, which could be an added interest within the F1 season, saying Monaco is not going to be about strategies and this and that. It's
Yeah,
like a
you
time
can't do
trial,
anything on straight track.
Yeah.
or you do one
It's
shot qualifying, you do something really
yeah,
interesting in Monaco to just make sure that people still see F1 cars going around in that super narrow circuit at ridiculous speeds across in those corners. So I think yeah, I mean, both fair points. So I've kind of looked at some of the pros and cons just generally from my perspective of street track. So well, I thought we'd just list them out and, maybe we can quickly touch upon each of them. So let's look at the pros first with generally with street circuits that we've seen in the recent past. I think Monaco has to be out of this list because Monaco is extremely unique. I'm seeing the new street tracks which have come in since 97 or 97, 2007, sorry. So you have the first pro I've said is, a new challenge for the drivers and the teams. So, my base point for this is Singapore in general, especially the last season. And if you go back even through the Mercedes domination and all, Singapore, because of its track surface, because of its layout, and just generally it's a night race, humidity, whatever that might be, it kind of bucks the trend in terms of where the season is going, or you have one strong team. It kind of throws a little bit of chaos in the mix, which is always interesting. Now Singapore is only one race. Other than that, I actually thought we had a lot more street tracks, but to be honest, there have actually been very few street tracks. We are now going into six, which is an all-time high into 2024. But that's, I think, that little bit of jeopardy because of a street track, because you have walls are closed, maybe the surface is different. Like Singapore has a very unique kind of surface and a unique kind of challenge. So I think that's one pro, I think, which goes for street tracks, which can cause an upset in the pecking order. There's a certain level of cool quotient, and from the circus standpoint, or from for Formula One presenting it to the world from a visual perspective, I think it's got a cool quotient, like racing on the Vegas Strip with all of that cool stuff happening around it. And I'm specifically talking about the race and the backdrop of the race, not that nonsense with Will.i.am coming and singing rubbish. I'm saying just there's a cool quotient about them being in these Baku. You go into the old town, you're racing right in front of their Capitol building of sorts. So I think that adds to the way F1 can present itself to people who are watching it on the television. So I think
there's a
that
lot of
is
engagement. There's a lot of
yeah,
engagement,
there's a lot of engagement, correct.
when you're
So
watching the race. But okay, go on. Then I'll
no, no,
probably
no, no. The,
give
the
my
idea is
input.
to see what you guys think of any of these. If you agree, disagree, you want to add to add.
I'm not a big fan of street circuits, is
Hmm.
because agree there's a lot of engagement, but the engagement is very limited
Hmm.
because I mean, if you have to compare a street track to an iconic track or a race track, you get to see what's happening around
Mm,
also, like on a racetrack. Where I just
mm,
feel on a street track you're just at one point only.
mm.
Other than that bit of engagement, I'm not a big fan because I find a lot of more cons than pros on a street track.
I will go to the cons. I've listed cons also, Hari. For you only, I listed cons.
But Hari, no, but Hari, even on a normal track, you're actually just sitting at one place and looking at the cars only when they go or whiz past you. The other times you're
Yeah, but then you can see what's
basically looking
happening
at the
also. You
screen.
can see the cars at least from that side.
Yeah, if you're lucky and yes, you
Fair
have
enough, but
a couple
I
of
mean, like,
views,
for
then yes.
example, like Barcelona, we could at least see what's happening on the other side also. I
Barcelona
mean,
is
because
super unique, I think, for
Okay,
her. I
so
think we also
yeah,
so
sat at such
our
a
so my
Silverstone also
reference,
I
yeah. So
see what's happening on the other
my
side.
reference
yeah,
is now I'm
Silverstone
going
you've
to talk
seen.
about
Yeah,
Silverstone
Spa.
you've seen in the
Austin.
Yeah,
US.
so I was going to talk about Spa. So Spa also basically we could see the cars coming down the hairpin and going past us at Eau Rouge. But apart from that, we didn't really get to see the cars. So again, I think it's unique to it's going to be different at different tracks, different venues, like you said.
Hmm.
And are we looking at also the
Okay, we've lost him for a bit. That's fine. We'll continue. Uh, so yeah, Hari, I was coming to that's one. Let's go to accessibility for the fans. That
It's
I
good.
think that
Singapore
is
fan-
true because Singapore, of course, is a masterclass in this. But just generally, I think that accessibility is always, I think it's definitely a pro for street circuits.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think,
you're in and out in few minutes.
yeah,
You're in
yeah,
and out in
yeah,
few minutes, which is a great
Hmm.
thing. I mean, hats
yeah,
off to
yeah,
how they planned it and all, but
yeah.
yeah, it is what it is.
So just coming back to Shashu's point on Spa, which
yeah?
unfortunately just got cut up.
Yeah, I
So
just got
yeah,
cut
like
for
he
some
was
reason.
mentioning, you were, we could see the cars
Yeah, I
coming from the
think
hairpin
yeah.
going.
I was just saying that what I think it's unique and it's different for different tracks. So like Arjun said, maybe you guys had a better chance of looking at the cars not once or maybe twice or thrice at Barcelona or
Hmm.
you were also talking about Silverstone, right, Arjun? So how was your experience there? So were you able to look at the cars more than
It was great.
once
I
or
mean,
multiple times at Silverstone?
sorry.
Were you able to
Were
see the
you
car
able to
multiple
look at the
times or at
cars
Yes,
once?
yes, yes,
multiple
yes,
times in Silverstone?
yes, yes. I mean, even in
Okay.
Austin, I could see it multiple times.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
I
it's
think
also
but
used
I think
for
it's specific to track specific. So
correct, correct.
post that,
Yeah, I
so
think
we
one.
were also
I
quickly just
just.
addressing. Hmm.
I think the biggest pro now. I'm just talking from a fan's point of view. Is that it's so much easier to commute or travel to get to
Access.
the track when it's a
Yeah,
street
we're
track.
just
That's
talking
the
about
that's
that.
the
We're just
biggest
talking.
pro that I would say in terms of being a fan. That you're literally like 10
Having said
15
that, having
minutes
said that,
from the
having
track.
said that, the accessibility is our reference point for accessibility of street tracks is only Singapore at this point. And Singapore
Correct.
itself, I think, is just, I think they make it a point to make the whole experience so seamless. So, but
Yeah,
yeah, I
we
think
we've
generally
also,
from
by the
a
way, had we
logical standpoint, yeah.
yeah no we've also had somebody go to Baku. So even that person told us that what Baku
Hmm.
also was extremely easy to get in and out of the
Yeah,
track and the stand that he was watching the race from. So I
that,
think
yeah.
at least for me, these two are the reference points. Don't really know about the other tracks, but I would also
Hmm.
assume that Vegas is going to be easy to probably get in and out of because it's right there.
Hmm.
Your accommodation, your hotels are right there, and if you have your public transport
Yeah.
sorted, I think it's great. But then again, one of the cons. Yeah, I know that we're coming to the cons a little later, but one of the cons at Vegas was that it was quite a quite a difficult and a menace for the actual residents of Vegas because of the whole city and town just being shut down for that entire week. So we have to look at it from that point of view also. So
That I think is
it's the
also very
racing
new to
aspect, it's
them,
the
so they
fans
I don't
aspect,
think
and yes, yeah, I also
that
think,
would
yeah,
have
like you
been, but
said,
that
it's
would have
new to
been the
them.
case for Singapore also in the first attempt, I think.
I agree. I agree. So
Teething
I'm
issues will
sure
be
they'll
there.
take
There
time
will
to
be
Yeah.
figure it
teething
out.
issues.
Yeah.
First,
Yeah, I
first
agree. Yes.
Okay.
heavy
Again,
load
issues
shedding.
with, yeah, fair. Yeah, and it's just load sharing, man. Unfortunately, it's the Wi-Fi is unable to take the awesomeness and the information.
Yeah, but we can continue. We can
Yeah,
continue.
so we'll just go off to the cons. I think because Shashu anyways touched upon one of the cons is that
Yeah.
it takes a little bit of time for people to actually get used to the fact that they're going to be cars around, there's the circuit, which is essentially the streets of the normal streets that they commute on. So they're going to be roads that are blocked, so on and so forth. So that I think is a con which Shashu had mentioned, which is definitely a con. But I think that's a con which over a period of time I think becomes irrelevant because organizers themselves are able to organize this a lot better. B, I think in general the US is still not as inclined towards something like Formula One as any of the other races. So I think that will probably come with time.
Too many races
Uh,
in the US, man. Too many races in the US. You're getting
yeah, I don't know where this is going in terms of
Liberty Media.
yeah, it's where it's going though. I don't think it's a juggernaut that can be stopped.
Yeah, but I think you know what you need to restrict the amount of races on the
Hmm.
calendar. It's a bit too. I mean, I know we're deviating from the topic, but
Hmm.
it's just a bit too much, man.
No, that's true, man. That's true. But I mean, I don't see anything else, happening at this point in time. But this is the way it's going. So let's quickly look at other cons which I've just listed out. One is terrible outdated track layouts, which is very specific to two. Outdated is one, terrible is one. Outdated is Monaco. I think it's not
Monaco.
Monaco's fault. Terrible is that stupid as race in Miami, which is an absolute joke. I mean, that
The
is
joke.
such
It's
a
a proper
bad
joke.
track. It's such a bad track. It has absolutely nothing. And then we see it like at 1:30 in the night, and as a fan also I'm like tortured to see, it's everything is first of all fake. The water that they're showing also is fake. There are people in boats on fake water. It is galling. And then that track itself is so bad, like no one likes it. So
It's a
it's
bad
it's a
sham.
it's a mess. That's one of the
Yeah.
cons. Like people come up with these ridiculous tracks in places where they see potential to make a lot of money, because Miami apparently with Vegas is some of the most expensive F1 tickets that you can get on the calendar. So I think it's
Correct.
a money making thing.
Also,
The
just
racing is forgotten.
adding to
Yeah,
your point, also outdated and what is the other point you said? Outdated.
outdated and terrible.
Terrible. So
Yeah.
look, I mean, at least with circuits, they are maintained. I mean, I'm talking
Hmm.
not street circuits. The normal tracks are really maintained. There's a lot of effort which is gone, you know,
Hmm.
for them to probably get their act together.
Hmm.
While on the street, the surface is always uneven most of the time. Yeah. So I
Hmm.
mean, racing is not fun, according to
Yeah.
me. Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah.
Just adding
But
to
the
what you
Okay.
track
said.
surface,
Yeah.
No, fair point.
the track surface being uneven, that adds to, I think, Kunal's point
Hmm.
of saying that adds to the jeopardy. So if you
Yeah.
have extremely smooth tracks, I'm just saying that it adds to the jeopardy.
Hmm.
Now, how much of a jeopardy do you want it to be? Because it should not come to a point where the jeopardy compromises safety.
Fair
Hmm.
enough. Yeah. No, no, with you on this.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, I think that's a valid point.
Yeah, and
That's a
by the
very
way,
valid point.
even
I
Spa
mean,
at
I
one
can go on.
point was Even Spa at one point, if you remember, there was the chicane that I think they redesigned. It was
Technically
called the
was
bus stop. Yeah, it was a bus stop chicane because it was a bus stop. So
yeah,
part
the
of
bus
even
stop.
Spa was run on public roads at one point. Obviously, I think in the last few years that hasn't
Mm,
happened. It's a proper just F1 track.
closed
But
off. Yeah.
yeah, even Spa for that matter was part street circuit, if you can call it that.
Yeah, guys, I can't see
Hmm.
you. Are you like?
Yeah, yeah. Put you all on low data mode. Don't worry
Okay,
about
cool,
it.
cool,
I'll
cool.
get you
Okay,
all back. Yeah. I'm just
uh,
trying to curb
that's
the
fine.
internet
That's fine.
issues that we have. Yeah.
I
Uh,
mean, are we going to talk about more cons?
yeah, yeah. We have few more cons to go, man. So
Yeah, I
the
think
I have
Hari
a
has a
bigger
lot
like
of
so.
con.
cons.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure this con is part of it. So the racing is forgotten is kind of an offset to what we said. With Miami especially, it's appalling. It's just galling to watch a race in Miami, and it's got
True.
a few attempts now at it. Uh, Also, I was saying OG circuits in trouble, which I think we also touched upon that the likes of Spa, the likes of Monza, few of these other iconic circuits, the OG circuits, which we all love and grew up watching, uh, could possibly be in trouble as more and more street circuits come in, net carbon neutral, this, that. Every third race is going to be in the US, which is purely for the money.
Ridiculous.
So I think,
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
correct,
yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
so that's going to spell a bit of trouble. So that's a big con I feel for street circuits in general. And this is, I think, this is just going in that direction. Another con is
Also,
just I've said the fakery. The fakery again. I'm saying I don't know if this is specific to the street circuits or street circuits in the United States of America. I think
I think it's specific to the street circuits
what we
of
saw in
the United
Miami
States of
and
America.
yeah, maybe because
Yeah, because if you look at
Vegas
Singapore
was
and
a
Baku,
great
they are
race at the
also,
end,
yeah,
but my
yeah. I mean,
God, yeah, they don't do
Singapore and
rubbish.
Baku are also
Yeah.
relatively new street circuits, but you don't see even 10% of the fakery and the over-the-top off-track action as you would see in a Miami or a Vegas. That's I don't know how motivating it is. For
Yeah,
me, it's a little off-putting. Like I don't
Yeah.
want to watch the race because of the
yeah,
fakery.
yeah,
Also, I mean,
yeah. Ari, what are you saying?
I think the major concern with a street circuit to me is there's no overtaking here. I mean, your cars are just behind each other, bro. So there is no overtaking
No,
which
not
happens.
so that hurry is a problem at Monaco. That will always be a problem in Miami. Miami still got some. I
Yeah.
think for me, more problem with Miami is not the overtaking, but the whole experience of watching that track and all is bad. But
Also,
Baku
visibility.
usually gives us bangers. I think Baku hasn't given us a banger in the last two seasons, but before that, it's been good for overtaking because of that extremely long straight into the hairpin.
Yeah, coming to
So,
the apex and all, you can't see. I mean, if you're driving at that high speed, it's there. I mean, visibility is also a big problem, especially on these street
which
circuits.
is which we've listed
Yes,
as
that
a
that
pro,
yeah,
Harry,
that
the
we missed.
Jeopardy. No
That
one
is
knows
that
where
is
you're going.
actually a good point, Harry. That the visible no, but the visibility is a
Yeah,
problem. That I've
sometimes
heard.
some of that stress.
Even the race drivers say that it's a problem. I completely forgot about
Yeah,
that.
the runoff issues on the barriers also are a big problem.
Yes,
Also, I feel.
yes.
Hmm. I mean, I have not listed that as a con, but that's maybe a con that I missed. That from a safety perspective, how much ever you put that safety
Yeah.
into, play, that the fact that there are a lot of blind corners, no runoff areas, you're close to the
Also,
walls, there is
just
always going to be an element of safety which is, got to crop up.
no, I was just reading this somewhere. Imagine there's a protest during the
Hmm.
race. It's difficult to control on a street circuit also. I mean, people can go
Yeah, and
crazy on
given the world we are living in, everyone is ready to
yeah,
protest about
big
something.
protest.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I'll
there's no
protest.
control.
I'll protest against the protesters, if just for the sake of it.
Yeah, race can be stopped in the middle of nowhere
Yeah,
also. Yeah, people go crazy.
that's true.
Yeah.
My final con that I've put, which is something I just thought about, is if we keep going the street circuits way and we say, by 2028 we have 12 or 14 street circuits out of 20 or 50%, then it'll be super alarming. It'll be going in the direction of Formula E. And Formula E's whole basis of operating was that, because it's electric, they are all about, saving the
They're all
environmental
about the
friendly
Correct,
environment.
series,
So
and
correct.
that is, I think, a completely different.
correct.
Yeah, that's a different
So
narrative
we don't
altogether.
want to have these two almost becoming, yeah, the narrative cannot be almost the same. However, you start having so many street circuits because they have street circuits because of that, the same reason, proximity and just generally, accessibility. All of that is there. This thing. So I think the narratives have to be different for Formula One and for Formula E. They cannot become the same thing, which is going to be
Correct.
again very. It just not sit with me. That's going to be it's a
Yeah,
problem.
I mean, I can't imagine Formula One,
Yeah, being
electric.
all all
Yeah.
also, I don't know, I'm not sure, but how expensive is it to get a new street circuit on the calendar compared to building a state of the art new circuit
Cheaper,
somewhere
cheaper.
outside the city? It's definitely going to be
I'm
cheaper.
not too
That's a
sure.
I
very,
would think.
very
I'm not
apt.
sure.
That is absolutely that's a very important point. It's going to be way cheaper. No, it's cheaper. It's hundred
I
percent
think
way
it's going to
cheaper.
be cheaper. Yeah.
I
Big,
have
And
no
it's
idea
not
about
cheaper,
this. I
like
have
you
no
said,
idea
way
about
cheaper. I
this.
don't
no,
know if
it'll
that's
be
going to
cheap.
be. Yeah,
I
what do
No,
you
know.
it
say?
is way. It's way cheaper. You don't have to build something from scratch. You don't have to make sure that it's operational for other events for it to, because you have to, that upkeep of that racetrack, which is not a street track, means you need to have more races from other series constantly happening for upkeep, so on and so forth. So building is one thing, it's going to be more expensive. Maintaining is going to be another cost. So I think in general, a street circuit is going to be, cheaper overall, cost of making and cost of maintaining. So that also is an important point, and sustainability, and you don't have unlimited money. So I guess that's one of the other reasons that have not been mentioned by Stefano, that he's trying to save money also. Okay, make money, save money. So double he will make for F1.
Yeah, because I think the street circuits
Cool. So
are
I
going to
think,
be. I mean, the tickets for a street circuit are going to be similarly priced, or maybe even more expensive than a normal circuit. So,
yeah,
like you said, make money, spend less money. So, yeah, pocket more money.
yeah. From a business perspective, yeah, pocket more money. Cool. Any cons, Hari? Other any specific grievances that you would want to voice
I mean, I'm
regarding
not a
street
big
circle which you
fan
missed?
I'm not a big fan of street circuits, but yeah, I
Mm.
mean, honestly speaking, again, I think I'm contradicting my statement, but I would love to go and see a race at Monaco just for the, you know,
Mm.
I mean, us being such big fans of the sport, I would like to just go and have the Monaco experience. Maybe just
If
go
I
there
had,
for go
yeah,
Saturday.
I would also agree
Yeah.
with you. If I had enough money to see 2 or 3 races in the year, I would say I would do Monaco and something else. Monaco purely because I would want to have it on my bucket list
Yeah.
and not care about what the experience of the race itself was, but the
Ye-
fact that I went to Monaco
Yeah.
and saw a race.
But honestly speaking, Monaco tickets are not very expensive. I mean, they would be
Yeah,
priced at
Monaco
about.
tickets are expensive, but their kharcha pani, you will have to drink water
Yeah.
from the sea. You can't afford water also.
So yeah, I mean, so maybe
Yeah, I
we
mean,
go to
yeah,
Monaco
like
just
you
for
said,
like the
the
weekend.
tickets are not very
Maybe we'll
expensive,
figure
but
that.
just
But
the
Yeah, if you
accommodation
plan it like that.
and yeah,
let's go
yeah,
to
everything
Monaco
else
this
is
year.
much more expensive.
Yeah, so guys,
Or
go
Hari,
Monaco this year then.
you can just bunk with Hari. I was just going to say you can just bunk with Charles. I mean, he has a house there.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
He has accommodation he can do.
I'll give him
So
a call.
accommodation is sorted.
I'll give him a call.
Cool. Let's just close with something fun.
Yeah.
So given we have our six street circuits for 2024, I'm going to ask you guys to rate them firstly on 3 things out of 10: track layout, pool quotient, racing. So we'll go one by one, and also we're going to put your you know your necks on the line, saying that should it stay or should it go. So red or
Oh,
green. So let's
that's a
let's
bad
go
one.
one by one. Yeah. So let's
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 start
start
with
off with
Shashu.
Yeah.
no. Okay, cool. So no, but yeah, we can go for each track. We will go you and Shashu. So we'd start with Shashu. We'd start with Monaco. Track layout out of 10. How much do you give it?
0.
Okay. Cool quotient out of 10.
Cool cushion 9.
Racing? Oh, this I know already. Racing.
Come
Out
on,
of
like
10.
you want me to go negative or what?
Zero. Zero. There is no negative score, man. Okay, so he's given a
So
zero,
so by
nine,
the so by
zero.
the yeah so by
Stay
the
or
way
go?
does no but by the way does racing also include qualifying? Is it the entire weekend or just the race?
No, no, no. Racing, racing, racing
Racing.
is
We are
racing.
going
So then
racing today.
unfortunately it's a 0.
Yeah,
And yeah, it
zero,
should
nine, zero. Stay or go?
090 and on stay or go. I think it has to stay because it's a part of history, but I think they should have a different event there. Maybe just have a one shot qualifying or just a qualifying session. Give the drivers half the points that you would give for a normal race and be done with it.
Wow,
That's a
that's
good
actually it's a very
That's a
good
very good one.
idea. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good
Stefano
one.
will have to write to him. Hari, track layout, cool quotient racing. So let's go track layout. Monaco, how much are you giving it?
I'll give it a 5.
Okay, cool
I'll
quotient
give cool quotient 10.
and
10.
racing. Racing
Other
10?
than no. Cool quotient 10. Cool quotient
Okay,
10.
cool. Huh.
Racing, I love how they catch up speed. When they go into the tunnel. I mean, so
Hmm. Hmm.
I'll give it a, I'll give it a 5. I mean, for the matter of
Fair
fact.
point. 5, 10, 5.
Yeah.
Stay or go?
Stay. 100% stay.
Okay, fair point. So both are like, even Shashu, in spite of his 2 zeros he's given, he's saying it's staying, but with a different kind of event. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
cool. Let's go to the second one. Australia. Shashu, what do you think of the
Australia, I
track
would
layout?
say, yeah, track is maybe a 7. Cool quotient also
Cool
Yeah.
a
quotient?
7, and
Racing?
racing probably 6, but it should stay, I think.
Stay. Yeah, stay.
Yeah.
Hari, track layout, Australia.
Track layout is, I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 8. It's a good track. It's a good
Cool
track.
quotient
Cool quotient, I'll also give it an 8. I mean,
and
it's a
racing?
great vibe. Racing,
Yeah, I'm sure that I'd love to go there actually. Racing?
racing, we can still go this year. Just say.
Huh,
Racing, I would give it a 7.5. Yeah.
Ooh.
fair. And I'm guessing it's a stay, right? Yeah, I think it's definitely a stay.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now we'll start going to a little tricky ones now. Baku. Sashu, Baku, track layout.
Track layout, yeah, track layout, I would say 9. As far as it's not a
Cool
very
quotient.
technical track because of the 90-degree corners, I would still give it a 9. Cool quotient, I would also give it 8 probably. And actually, no, 9. I would
Yeah,
give it a
8.
9 on cool quotient also because it's got a lot of, it's got a lot of diversity, I would say, with the new and the old of that city being covered in the track
Yeah.
layout. And
True.
I think the racing
Racing.
also is a good solid 8.5. Maybe I'm giving it a little less because the last 2 races were not very great, but I would still give it a 8.5 and
Not very
definitely
great.
should stay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got 3 stays. Hari, track layout, Baku,
9.
cool
9.
quotient.
It's a great. Cool quotient, I'll also give it a 9. Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
would love
9,
to
9. Yeah,
I mean,
man.
sorry.
Yeah. Racing also is what? 8, 9?
Racing, I'll give it a I'll give it an 8. I mean, I'm just worried about that point, where you crash a lot also. I think they were trying to make some changes or they've done it also. I'm not too sure. I think they've done it.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I mean,
Stay, I'm guessing. Stay or go?
100%. Yeah, stay.
Stay, no?
Yeah. What about you,
Okay, we've
Baku?
got 4 out of 4 stays now, and we've listed some cons before that, before these ratings. So
Being
Saudi,
unbiased.
let, let's go to Saudi, to the unbiased guy. Yeah, Saudi track layout.
Saudi, I think
I don't know.
track layout would be a 5. Cool quotient, probably a 5 again. And
Racing.
racing, I mean, it's okay. I would say a 5 for everything. And I'm still on the fence with
5.
yeah.
Not sure. Stay or go.
Not
More towards
yeah,
go
not
or
sure
more
whether
towards
it should
stay.
stay or
Even if
go.
it's
It also
51% go.
yeah, it also kind of depends on how many other street circuits are there for me to decide whether it should stay or go. If that godforsaken
Correct.
Miami is not there, then I would say stay. But if that is also there, then I don't want it to
Arey,
be
wait,
a
wait.
very dominated street circuit calendar.
We've left the
So
ratings
I'll
for the best ratings for the last two. Yeah.
yeah. So I
Five,
would
five, five,
say
and
5-5 stay,
stay.
5-5-5, and yeah, stay. Yeah, I'm going to say stay because I know what I'm doing for the next two. So stay for now for this.
Harry, track layout,
I'm
cool quotient
indifferent
racing.
about I mean, it doesn't make a difference. It
What,
can be all.
Saudi?
Yeah.
But what are your ratings? You're okay. You're just not fussed about Saudi. You're
I'm
like
not fussed
whatever.
about it. If it's there
So
or not there in the calendar,
Yeah, I
it
think
doesn't
it's
make a
it's like a
difference.
So you will
5-5-5.
agree
It's
with
like
five,
it's
five,
there,
five?
not there.
Yeah.
So 5-5-5 from you also, Hari, for this.
Yeah.
And same, similar, like you're not fussed about it, like whether it
Not
stays,
fussed.
goes. If it goes, it goes. Like
It
really
goes, it
not,
goes.
not exciting you, Saudi.
Not at all.
Okay, let's go to the one that I think I'll also give rating. Miami. The shoot track layout.
0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Is there a is there a not applicable?
No man, 0 is 0. So I think
Shut it.
Is there a non
so.
applicable?
All zeros and go. Sashu also all
Go.
zeros and
Yeah, all not all
all
zeros
will
also.
burn the circuit over.
Not applicable means I have to see the race. I should have watched the race for me to give it a rating, no? So I've at least watched Monaco and said that it deserves 0.
I saw
But
the race. I was in New York sitting in a bar and saw the race.
I haven't watched the race because it has not intrigued me even that much that I should watch the race. So I
honestly
don't know what rating to give that track also. And it should definitely go
0, dude. 0.
0, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen all.
The drive to
I've
survive.
seen
haven't watched it.
I've seen all 3 races in Miami, and as a very still a fan who's accepting of almost everything with tracks and all. Even I would give it a 0, 0, 0. There is nothing good about the track. It's not at all. This cool course is not cool because everything is fake. It's an absolute clown show. The racing also, no one is interested, including the drivers. Those fans don't know what is happening, so it's a 0. So it's not like some
Then it's a go.
atmosphere which
Then it's a
fans are
go.
running
Yeah,
standing
it's a
and
go
trying to
then.
build it up. It's a go. It is. It needs to go. Like it is the worst track that has come about since Valencia. It is. And Valencia, at least you had fans who are more knowledgeable about the sport. Here, though, it's like a bloody picnic.
Oh, no doubt.
Picnic. People
Yeah,
are
no
coming,
doubt.
just
Yeah.
eating lot of food. Like this, just put cheese on the bloody track only, man. It was so. It's appalling. It's galling.
I have a very interesting question for you guys. End of the show. I mean, once we finish this, so
Cool,
just
cool.
remind
We
me.
just got one more thing on the ratings, which is Vegas. Sashu, what are your ratings on Vegas? Track layout, cool quotient, racing.
Track layout 2. Racing, I just have
What did you say? Okay, 2. Cool quotient.
yeah. Cool quotient, I would say. I mean, as a fan, the cool quotient is again like 5. As a fan of Formula One. If I'm looking at it as a fan of tech, if I'm purely looking at it as a fan of tech, then I would say maybe a 8 or a 9. But as a Formula One fan, I would say Cool Quotient 5. And the racing, I have this one race to go by, so I would say 7. And stay or go, I would say go, because I think the circuit of I think the circuit of the Americas brings the American flavor that I can handle. So I think you should go one race in the
Bro, what
Americas,
a
and that's
circuit.
that's about
What a
it.
circuit. Austin, bro. Austin is
Harry,
too good.
Harry, what are yours? So is this 2, 5, 7, and go?
Go,
I didn't
yeah.
understand that 2 on track layout, man. It is really not.
Give
I
it
mean,
a
it's
4, dude. Give it a 4 at least.
Harry. Okay, cool. He's given 2. What are your ratings then for this? For
4
Vegas?
track, 4 track, 10
Hmm.
cool quotient, dude. And a great place
Ah.
to be. I've been to Vegas
Ah.
and I know it's great. I mean, yeah, and it should stay. We should definitely watch a race in Vegas.
And racing, what do you think of the racing? What
Probably
rating?
we'll club it with someone's bachelor party, so it'll be good fun then.
So you're saying 4, 10, racing? Racing? I think again. I don't know. Race
5.
5. Yeah, I am saying that track layout is good. It's a solid 7. Yeah, 7. Hmm.
Sorry,
Leclerc's
go ahead.
move.
Yeah.
No. What are you saying? Leclerc's move at the last.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the track layout, the way it's set up, is not that it's some very technical track, but it's set up so that you can make a lot of racing happen because of the long straights into this thing and the way it's set. So my track layout is a solid 8. Yeah. Cool quotient is, I would say, 9. Racing, because it's only one race, based on the race, I would say 9. Whether stay or go, I would again agree. I would actually go with how many races you're putting in America. And circuit of the Americas, if you, okay, fine, you want 2 races at least, you would be Kota, and Kota will be number 1 priority, followed by this race maybe every 3 years. So you keep it like, every 3 years we visit Vegas. It's not going to happen, but yeah, it's a stay. It's a stay, but not like, yeah, I mean, Sachin destroyed the Vegas track. Go.
I think
The go was also because I just wanted one America track.
Yeah. So now we'll end it with Singapore. Singapore is the final, part of this. So shoot, track layout.
Singapore
Track layout, cool quotient racing. The drill.
Track layout, I think 8. Cool quotient, I'm just going to be very biased because I just love the track and I just love the vibe and the city, country. So cool quotient 11. And racing, I would say maybe a 6. Racing 6, I would say. It's not a great not a great place to race.
Probably.
Cool.
Sorry,
And stay, no?
What were you saying?
100%.
Yeah, stay for sure. Yeah, 100% stay.
Hari, what are you saying?
Track, I'll give Singapore 4. Cool quotient, yes. I mean, the country knows how to pull off a race. Okay? I mean, extremely organized, and we were there, so I mean,
What's the number?
Cool quotient, I'll give it a 9. I'll give it a 9, and racing 2.
Okay.
Racing
Hari
2
is a bit hard on Singapore from a
My brain is
technical
wired
standpoint.
about Singapore. Track should stay.
Yeah.
In all fairness.
Yeah. So, by the way, we've done 7, which means F1 is not considering Australia as a street track. So Australia is out of the street track listing. So, yeah, so I think, Australia, let's get that aside. Monaco, we've already talked about. I think there are issues in our minds, at least with Saudi, Miami, and Vegas. Vegas more so because, I think it's too many American bases, but I think it's also, I think our thing on Vegas is also a little biased because of Miami, because Miami really gets us riled up about how bad these tracks are in the US.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, we kind of, I think we are all okay with this is the limit to which we would appreciate, I think, street tracks on the calendar. If it's a 24 race calendar, I think a fourth of it, which is what it is now, I think is I think okay. I think Hari, I think is that so. Before we end, I think Hari, you would
I have a
want to
question. Yeah.
wanted a question to be, yeah,
If there was one
please.
street track,
Hmm.
you guys in your wish list,
Hmm.
and if you can probably go and appeal to the FIA or whatever, which track would it be?
Hmm.
If you wanted that one street track in the world and go
In the
watch a
world,
race.
which is
Yeah.
now
In the
not,
world,
which has never been on the calendar also.
It's not been on the calendar, and you would wish if it was on the calendar, or
Oh,
probably it did not.
that is
One, only one.
that is hard. I know
It's very hard. It's very hard.
I don't think I
there's a
know of
street
any
track in
street
Manila,
tracks.
no, which is a very
No, no, a
hmm,
street track constructed in a city.
a
Oh,
city which you would want to
you're
go
saying
to,
pick a
and if there's a
city. Are you
street
saying
track in
pick a
that city,
city?
great. Ah, cool,
Yeah,
cool, cool. Hmm,
tough one, huh? This is.
tough one. I mean, the city that I would want to go to, where if there's an F1 event happening, nothing like it would be, I would say, Berlin.
Oh, nice one. Nice. Yeah.
Because there is
Good,
also a
good.
culture of F1 there. It's a crazy
Yeah.
place.
It's a
And
crazy
I
place.
think Berlin does have a race in Formula E. So I think
Correct.
Berlin has the
Yes.
capacity to
The
host.
Berlin
So I would
E-Prix.
say
Yeah,
Berlin.
it's there.
Yeah, so I would say Berlin.
Yeah. Shashu.
I don't know. I would want something to be in South America for some reason. A street circuit in South America.
I think
Yeah, I don't
Argentina
know which
has a street
city.
circuit, if I'm not mistaken.
Sorry.
No, but yeah.
Hmm.
I'm
Buenos
not too sure. I
Aires.
think
Buenos Aires.
Argentina has a
I think
street circuit.
Argentina.
I'm not too
Yes,
sure. Not too sure.
Argentina. I think that's what even I was going to. I think
Yeah.
Argentina has a street circuit, and I don't know, because we have a lot of races already in Europe. I somehow
Yeah.
would want one to be in South America, uh, maybe in Argentina.
Nice. Nice.
Cool. Hari, what is your take on this? To this very
I would
out of
love
this
to see
world
a.
question.
I would love to
Where?
see a street. I would love to see a street race in Rome.
Rome. Yeah, Rome also
It,
has a street track. I mean, in
I'm
sense,
not too
Formula
sure,
E does it in Rome also. Yeah, that's
but it
also
would
that'll
be
be a great place to
mad,
go.
dude. It would
That's a
be
great
mad.
place.
A very
Yeah.
good place, very cool place. Again, you're also sticking to Europe.
I would love to
Yeah,
see a street race in Bombay also. I'm just
yeah,
saying.
man.
Yeah, why
We
not?
had a street race which was taken away from us, Formula E, which is unfortunately the way things function in India. Just generally, the political system is like that. What
Yeah,
can
I
we
mean,
do?
if it was in our country, I would love to see a
100%.
mad
I
street
would
race in
be very
Bombay, bro.
proud to go and watch it. Like
Yeah.
I would make sure
Imagine on
that
the
I
ceiling to go racing and
yeah,
all.
it'll be a cool thing. Yeah, it'll be a cool thing. Only thing they will dig up something so they
Yeah,
fill
yeah,
up.
bro.
What?
The cars won't reach only. The cars will reach. Or
No, it would
visas
be
are
cool.
suspended.
No, it would be cool to go from the ceiling. Go into
I
Yeah.
think the
sea
new,
phase.
I
You can
think the
make a
new
really cool track
the
around.
Atal Setu flyover or whatever that stretch is. I think that could be
Yeah.
a great part of a street circuit in Bombay.
Suspended.
Yeah. But I don't think there's A, political will, B, I don't think
Never,
it's feasible
never,
at all
bro.
in Bombay.
It's a
Bombay, it's
failure.
No, it's
impossible.
not.
Bombay,
Never.
you can't stop Bombay for even, you know,
No, it's going to be
so
logistically
even
impossible.
Delhi was actually a great track. Impossible.
Yeah, it is.
Impossible for Bombay. Delhi, I'm saying the track was actually a great track. That didn't happen. Now
If I
again, Gujarat is,
Noida is a great track. Yeah.
yeah, Noida
Oh,
was
they,
a very good track.
I
Gujarat
think,
is, yeah, everything is going to be in Gujarat, man. I think Gandhinagar, you have to go and watch with theplas in the stands. Like, unfortunately, everything is going in. I mean, it is Gujarat A is
yeah.
ready. B, they've got a lot of money in anyways, and it's the prime minister's backyard. So whatever is going to happen is probably going to happen there. So I would still like whatever. If go, it's somewhere in India. It would be great to go. I don't think it'll be a street track in Gandhinagar. It'll be a purpose built facility. So anyways, cool. I think that concludes our rather long conversation on this.
Yeah,
Like always, I think it's been great fun and it's just a great way to spend the
yeah,
Sunday.
some good insights
So
also. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so thank you, Hari, on coming back. We will definitely have you back again.
I can't wait.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, so
yeah,
we'll do that.
yeah,
So ciao for now. See you guys. See you
yeah.
whoever's
Good
watching.
weekend for you. Yeah,
We'll see you again. Ciao.
yes.
Bye.
So,
Bye.
see you guys. Bye.
We have to wait for it though.